I loved working with Chintu Ji. This was a film tailor-made for him. When you were speaking the dialogues, I could imagine in my head how Chintu Ji would do it. Unfortunately, we lost him.
We considered Ranbir also, wear prosthetics and finish the film, and that route also we discussed and we tried, but that was just, nothing was working out. Paresh ji just could not contain the excitement about the script because he was just so fascinated about the story and the script. And he's like, yeah, ye to karte hi hai, we must finish this film, and it's Chintu's last film.
The advantage of being on an OTT platform would be across the world, accessible when it releases.
So today I have a bunch of wonderfully talented and beautiful humans joining me who are gifting me this emotional bundle of happiness with Sharmaji Namkeen. A huge congratulations for the film, Juhi ma'am and Hitesh sir. A huge welcome to ETimes, and we are so happy to have you joining with us today.
Thank you so much, Aditi. Thank you for having us.
Lovely to be with you. Thank you, Aditi.
So, Juhi ma'am, you've had so many memorable movies with Rishi Kapoor sir. And today when you're witnessing his last film release, almost 2 years after his passing, what sort of emotions and feelings are you encountering? And how do you look back at your association with Rishi ji?
So I feel there's a whole lot of emotions. I think one, I'm very happy and I'm very grateful, and I congratulate the team for having, completed the film. I think that's a big achievement. I loved working with Chintu Ji. Many years, worked with him early in my career and then off and on again. And Sharmaji Namkeen was such a wonderful script. When I heard it, I mean, I envy him. I have to just confess. As an actor, this was a film tailor-made for him. When you were narrating the film to me, Hitesh, I remember when you were speaking the dialogues, I could imagine in my head how Chintu Ji would do it. This is the way, this was just made for him. And it's a wonderful, warm, heartwarming film. Unfortunately, we lost him. And really just working with him in the last, when I did join the movie, I learned so much just in those couple of days from him as an actor. He was, अब मैं और भी बोल दूँ? His every take on the sets, Chintu Ji's shot would happen. And I would be watching Chintu Ji either on the monitor or in person because I'm standing in front of him. And his shots were just so wonderful, so wonderful. Hitesh ka udhar se, okay. And I'd be like, यार ये चिंटू जी इतना आराम से कैसे इतनी कमाल की एक्टिंग कर रहे हैं? अब मेरा शॉट होता था तो हितेश से वहाँ से you can make out by sound. You don't have to see a face. You know it. Okay.
That's a lie.
No.
That's a lie. It was a loud, resounding okay. That's a lie.
As an actor, I started becoming more insecure and envious of Chintu Ji because he was doing so fabulously.
I think both of them were just amazing. She's just being too modest about that. But just the entire process was just very amazing for me as a director, because Chintu Ji just had no process, I had done multiple readings with Juhi Ji, and we discussed this, that. He would never discuss really anything. He will just read the scene and he'll say, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
And then he'll just do a take, and then I'm always wondering, I want to do another take, but what else? So how do I get another take? What do I tell him? So it was just quite an experience, that every actor has a different process. So I think it was quite a fabulous, I think it was a learning curve for me to work with these two people who have just been in the industry for such a long time. So it was a resounding okay to both of them.
But really, Chintu Ji was, I feel, just as what I watched him that time, and I was like, I could learn so much just by seeing how he approaches his role.
So, Hitesh sir, the trailer looks great, and it didn't feel like we were looking at two different actors, and I was just looking at Sharmaji. And Paresh ji and Rishi ji both are institutions of acting in themselves. So what was the kind of creative brief or notes that you had exchanged with the both of them? Were they different?
See, it was a very different process, of course, and it was a very difficult choice. When Rishi ji, of course, passed away, it was a very tough time for all of us, and we did explore a lot of options. And then when Paresh ji came on board, And it was very generous and brave of him, because as an actor, it's a difficult thing for an actor to pull off, and it has never been done before in Hindi cinema at least. So
Yeah.
I think the process was just, my brief was very, very simple, to be honest. It was just one simple line of brief to Paresh ji, that just be Sharma in your own unique way. Whatever Chintu ji has done, that was his interpretation, and this is what Sharma is. He read the script, and Paresh ji just could not, contain the excitement about the script, because he was just so fascinated about the story and the script. And he's like, yeah, ye to karte hi hai. We must finish this film, and it was Chintu's last film. So I think he just made it on his own. We never really had any readings or workshop or exchange any notes beyond one or two odd discussions. That's the end of it. Because I just told him that you don't have to ever worry about how Chintu ji did it, or what is the scale of that. You just make the character your own. And I think that just worked out very beautifully in the end for all of us.
So, what was Ranbir and Neetu ji's reaction to the film and the decision to have Paresh ji on board for Rishi ji's absence?
See, it was a very emotional thing for them, because it is Rishi ji's last film, and I think everyone was very, very keen that we finish this and we present it to all his fans. And we did actually we considered Ranbir also to wear prosthetics and finish the film, and that route also we discussed and we tried, but that was just, nothing was working out. And then within our discussions, this thing came, that okay, let's try another actor that who will come in and fill his shoes and finish the film. But as a director, it was a very, how do you say, it was a very tricky situation, because it has never been done before, so I had no idea how will this happen. So then we took that step and we moved forward in that direction. And then Neetu ji and Ranbir were just more than happy. They were just very, very glad that we could eventually finish the film and present it to the entire world.
So, Juhi ma'am, when you first signed the film, apart from the chance of reuniting with Rishi ji, what were the other factors that compelled you to say a yes to this project?
The script itself. It is so sweet. It keeps you smiling. It's like a slice of life. It's like, you love the characters. They are so nice. They're so real. They're so real. And it's it's this story of this late 50s, early 60s person who's just retired and doesn't know what to do with his life. Yeah. And then how he eventually gets into a situation which then gives him a different direction, which normally everybody say ki ye kya kar rahe ho? But then it opens a whole world for him. And then and makes him happy, and he has new friends, and possibly a more exciting life than he ever had before. So it's wonderful, and the character, again I say, it was so Chintu Ji. It was a little crabby and very funny. So I have smiled through that whole narration, and then it's very also. It's got these emotional moments towards the end, which really, like, it's that complete package that you want to see. It's a family film, really. You can watch it with the youngsters, with the elders, because they will identify, the youngsters because they will see themselves there, behaving the way they do with elder people. Yeah. I just say it's the whole thing. I loved it. I loved it. And I couldn't believe that it was his first film, na? It's your
and
first.
She told me actually, have you written it? It's your first film?
Yeah.
Because when I was writing, so from day one, Shubhratik and I, who wrote the film with me, we were very clear that it is, we were keeping Juhi ji and Rishi ji in mind in writing.
क्या बात है? As an actor, you like hearing all this. क्या? फिर से बोलो. मुझे तो नहीं बोला ये पहले.
And it was honestly a dream come true, because if one of them had said no, that I don't like it, or X, Y, and Z, I really won't have figured out how to go ahead with that, because from day one it was very clear that only both of them could really do justice to this. So it just all fell in place, and she just loved the script so much that, and of course because the kind of equation they both share. So on set, it was just like a big joyride, like, it was just so much fun, because they're pulling each other's legs, something is happening.
I was not pulling Chintu Ji's leg. Chintu Ji was either scolding me for looking into the mirror too much, or something or the other. But it was such fun because I know how he behaves on the sets.
She used to call us Tom and Jerry, by the way.
There were such funny moments, and I used to be like telling them because Chintu Ji, as usual, when he's I think that's what he used to do when he would be like fond of people, is scold them for small things, for nothing. And jaldi karo, yeah, tum sunte nahi ho, arey aise hona chahiye, waise hona chahiye. And I would keep laughing because I've seen him over the years, he's the same. And for him, it was his first time. So I used to be like, I used to keep looking at our DOP and saying, please, thoda sa behind the scenes lijiye, because these moments are very, very funny, very candid. Yeah. And but they didn't do it. Nobody listens to me.
ये सब नहीं बोलना होता है.
Oh, अच्छा. Yeah.
So, Hitesh sir, it's as I said earlier, it's been around 2 years since Rishi Kapoor breathed his last, and his massive fan following continues to miss his presence on the big screen. So, the film also came as a responsibility to honor his talent and standing. So, was there a pressure being at the helm of his last film that way?
I don't really see that as a pressure. See, because I was very, very confident of the script that we had. I was very confident of the film that, I wanted to make and the story that I wanted to tell. And it was very organic, the entire process of casting, of getting Juhi Ji, Rishi Ji in the process. And when he was no more, again, it was, as I told you earlier, it was a very, very tough time, because one thing was very clear that everyone, Ritesh, Farhan, from day one, they told me that they will finish the film and they will put it out there for everyone to, enjoy that film. So that was a very reassuring thing coming from the producers, that at any cost we'll finish the film. That's why I'm saying whether it was VFX or Ranbir doing prosthetics. So even when Paresh ji came and, the only pressure I would say is to just do justice, that what he stands for, and when another actor comes in the play, so it should just make sense, we should just not do it to just finish the film. It should remain the same film. And I think that was the only challenge that was there. And fortunately, I would say that we achieved. So beyond that, I don't think there was any other pressure.
So, coming back to you, ma'am, being in the entertainment industry for decades now, and you have seen Bollywood grow. And now with your OTT debut film, do you feel there's a pressure of staying relevant, or how do you look at it?
So, how do I say this? I know people may have expectations, social media may have expectations, but I've made up my mind. I will not dance to anybody's tune. I just want to do films, projects, which I like. If I like the story, if I like what's happening, I join it. So I love this script. And I just, so whether it came on OTT or whether it came in the theater, that was not for me, or is not even today for me, like, okay, this is the reason or why I may have done it. At the same time, now, because earlier it was supposedly maybe a theater film when we started it. Yeah. Now it's on OTT. I think the advantage of being on an OTT platform would be across the world, accessible when it releases, accessible to young, old, across the planet, anywhere you can watch it. What 240 countries that it will be released in. So it's that huge a release suddenly.
I think the kind of audience that you get today on an Amazon Prime, it's just unbelievable. It's just amazing. That's something that you would have never really dreamt of, like 5 years back or 7 years, that you can present the film to such a large audience at a global scale. So for any artist, I would say that's like a great, massive opportunity. It just completely opens up the whole world for you as an artist. So I think these are very exciting times for everyone.
So Juhi ma'am, one last thing I want to know from you. I am a huge fan of your work, and I would say that there's so much credibility and trust whenever you are seen on screen. So over the years, does it feel like a weight which you are bound to carry, or how do you deal with this pressure?
Did you really mean what you said just now?
Yes.
Because I've been working for that. That's it. That when I do a film, I do my best. Whatever that moment requires me to do, I'll do the best I can. And I like to take on projects that I I enjoy. Like whether, you know, the script is great, the team is nice, do it. And do it full-heartedly. So when you say that, okay, when you're on screen, it just makes you feel, okay,
Yeah,
that's a
there's
good
so much
project.
trust and reliance. Yeah.
So, oh great, I'm just happy to hear this. अभी मेरा comment इसके ऊपर और कुछ नहीं है.
Okay
This
then,
is-
thank you so
yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
for doing this with me. I had a great time chatting with you, and I was a little starstruck seeing Juhi ma'am for the first time this way.
Oh
I
my
really
gosh.
look forward to more conversations with you, and all the best for Sharmaji Namkeen.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Aditi.
Bye. Thanks, Aditi.
Bye.
Bye.